बेटा बैठो जल्दी। और के लिए है अभी यहाँ मत रखना बस।
Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. I request you all to kindly rise for the national anthem.
जन गण मन अधिनायक जय हे भारत भाग्य विधाता पंजाब सिंधु गुजरात मराठा द्राविड़ उत्कल बंगा विंध्य हिमाचल यमुना गंगा उच्छल जलधि तरंगा तव शुभ नामे जागे तव शुभ आशीष मागे गाहे तव जय गाथा जन गण मंगल दायक जय हे भारत भाग्य विधाता जय हे जय हे जय हे जय 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 हे
In a world grappling with pressing environmental challenges, the concept of sustainable business has emerged as a beacon of hope, reshaping the way organizations operate and thrive in the modern era. As global challenges like climate change, resource depletion, and social inequality continue to intensify, forward thinking companies are realizing the importance of adopting a more holistic approach to success, one that embraces sustainability as a core principle. Businesses are now taking sustainability to a whole new level, redefining the traditional notions of success and emphasizing the vital connection between organizations and the environment. I, Sonali Arora, and my colleague Ms. Aarti Sehgal feel privileged to welcome you all on behalf of Rukmini Devi Institute of Advanced Studies to the International Conference on Redefining Business and Managerial Practices for Sustainable Growth, a Global Perspective.
We are honored to have with us today eminent dignitaries from academia and industry, whose mere mention ignites earnest disposition towards learning amongst knowledge seekers. We would like to extend a warm and heartfelt welcome to our Honorable Chief Guest, Professor Sushma Yadav, Pro Vice Chancellor, Central University of Haryana, Mahendragarh, and Member of Justice K.G. Balakrishnan Commission, New Delhi. We also have with us our eminent guest of honor, Mr. Dinesh Saraf, former MD, ONGC.
We also sincerely welcome Patron International Conference and Director RDIS Professor Dr. Raman Garg, Patron International Conference and Dean RDIS Professor Dr. Namita Garg, Professor of Eminence RDIS Dr. C.P. Gupta, Convener International Conference Dr. Pooja Bahl, and co-conveners International Conference Dr. Ritika Gupta and Ms. Jitinder Kaur. We also extend a hearty welcome to all the participants and faculty members who are a part of this event today.
Going further, we would like to apprise the August gathering about the noble vision and mission of Rukmini Devi Institute of Advanced Studies, The roots of this institution go back to the year 1986 when a society named Seth Pokharmal Educational Society was established by late Shri K.C. Garg ji and his wife Mrs. Anita Garg ji with the aim of serving the society by imparting quality education to children. The stepping stone towards this effort was the foundation of Rukmani Devi Public School in Pitampura, which perpetuated the name of their revered father, Seth Pokharmal, and their respected mother, Srimati Rukmani Devi, who had a vision for the education of the masses in India. Through its concerted efforts, the society has created institutions of international standard that impart quality education right from the kindergarten stage to postgraduate level programs at affordable prices.
Seth Pokharmal Educational Society operates several institutes under its umbrella, namely Rukmani Devi Public School Junior Wing, Rukmani Devi Public School Pitampura, Rohini and Sonipat, Rukmani Devi Lalit Kala Kendra, Rukmani Devi College of Education, and Rukmani Devi Institute of Advanced Studies. We take pride in sharing that RDIS is accredited with A grade by NAC and is a Category A plus institute judged by SFRC Government of NCT Delhi. The institute has been awarded the highest Category A grading by the Joint Assessment Committee of GGS IPU and the Department of Higher Education, Government of NCT Delhi. The institute is an active member of MDSA, CII, NHRDN, CEGR, ICT Academy, Delnet, British Council Library, and has also signed a Memorandum of Understanding with Chelyabinsk State Institute of Culture and Arts, Russia, British University, Vietnam, Gedu College of Business Studies, Bhutan, Human Care Foundation, MSME Technology Development Center, PPDC Agra, Ministry of MSME, Government of India, and EY. The institute currently offers BBA with an intake of 180 students each for both first and second shift, and MBA with an intake of 120 students each for both first and second shift.
Living up to the society's vision, RDIS takes pride in hosting the international conference on redefining business and managerial practices for sustainable growth, a global perspective. This conference aims to provide a potential opportunity to connect, exchange, network with academicians, researchers, and experts to deliberate on the conference theme.
Moving ahead, allow me to introduce you all to the eminent guests present here. We have with us our respected chief guest, Professor Sushma Yadav. Professor Yadav is presently Pro Vice Chancellor, Central University of Haryana, Mahendragarh, and member of Justice K.G. Balakrishnan Commission, New Delhi. Prior to this, Madam was a member of University Grants Commission, Delhi, Vice Chancellor at Bhagat Phool Singh Mahila Vishwavidyalaya, Sonipat, member of Press Council of India, Pro Vice Chancellor of Indira Gandhi National Open University, Delhi, Professor of Public Policy and Governance at Indian Institute of Public Administration, Delhi, Chair Professor of Dr. B.R. Ambedkar Chair at IIPA, Chairperson, Governing Body, College of Vocational Studies, University of Delhi, Founder President of National Social Science Association, President of Indian Political Science Association, and Coordinator at India International Political Science Association. Professor Yadav has also been the coordinator of Working Group on SCs for the 12th Plan Approach paper, Ministry of Social Justice and Empowerment, Government of India, member of the governing body Indian Social Institute, Delhi, and member of the peer team NAC, Bangalore. A topper of Delhi University, Madam has published more than 15 books and several research papers in national and international journals. She has played a significant role in the planning, implementation, and evaluation of policies and academic activities as Chancellor's nominee, Visitor's nominee, and member of the Finance Committee, Academic Council, and Executive Council of a number of central and state universities such as Delhi University, JNU, IGNOU, Central University of Punjab, MDU, NLU Haryana, etc. Madam is a recipient of many prestigious awards like Savitri Bai Phule Rashtriya Shiksha Samman 2023, International Women's Day Women Empowerment Award 2023, Pride of the Nation Excellence Award 2019, Woman of the Year 2019 Award, Delhi Samman Ratna 2015, Ambassador of Peace Award 2015, Women Leader Award 2015, Mahatma Jyotiba and Kranti Jyoti Savitribai Phule Balijan Ratna Award 2014, Kasturba Award 2008, National Leader Award 2006. Madam has also visited several countries like China, the USA, Germany, Spain, Peru, Nepal, and Bangladesh for academic, administrative, and training assignments. We are honored to have you with us, ma'am. Now, I would like to request Patron International Conference and Director RDIS, Professor Dr. Raman Garg, to please welcome Chief Guest Professor Sushma Yadav. Thank you, sir.
We have the distinguished presence of our Chief Guest of Honor, Mr. Dinesh Saraf, former MD ONGC. Mr. Saraf is the former Chairman and Managing Director of Oil and Natural Gas Corporation Limited, ONGC, which is also the most valuable Maharatna public sector enterprise. Mr. Dinesh K. Saraf graduated in 1976 from Shri Ram College of Commerce, University of Delhi, and did his post-graduation from the same university. Mr. Saraf is an associate member of Institute of Cost Accountants of India and Institute of Company Secretaries of India. Sir has held the positions of Director Finance of ONGC Videsh Limited and later its Managing Director. Mr. Saraf was successful in finalizing several multi-billion mergers and acquisitions in countries like Azerbaijan, Brazil, Syria, Russia, Myanmar, Bangladesh, Colombia, Mozambique. Sir also raised funds amounting to billions of dollars, including several tranches of overseas listed foreign currency bonds, with lowest ever spread for Indian borrowers. Mr. Saraf has also been Director Finance of ONGC and later ONGC's Chairman and Managing Director. Sir successfully led ONGC at a time when the crude oil prices were lowest for a long time and took the contrarian view to increase fresh investments in oil and gas business. Sir has been also the Chairman of Petroleum and Natural Gas Regulatory Board. Mr. Saraf has been the Chairman of Mangalore Refinery and Petrochemicals Limited, ONGC Petro Editions Limited, ONGC Mangalore Petrochemicals Limited, Mangalore SEZ Limited, ONGC Tripura Power Company Limited, and a director on the board of Petronet LNG Limited. Sir has been associated with various other organizations like the Global Compact Network India as its president, chairman, Petrotech Society, and Federation of Indian Petroleum Industry. Sir was also a member of the governing body of CSIR, that is Council of Scientific and Industrial Research. Mr. Saraf is the chairman of the Research Council of Indian Institute of Petroleum, Dehradun. Sir is also a trustee in the Bharat Lok Shiksha Parishad of ICAL Foundation Trust. ICAL is the globally largest NGO running 1 lakh single teacher schools across India, particularly in the tribal, border, and rural areas for children who cannot otherwise go to schools, giving them all-round education. Now he devotes most of his time in mentoring and consulting NGOs, startups, and corporates in the areas of social service, education, finance, and oil and gas energy sectors. We are honored to have you with us, sir. Now, I would like to request Professor of Eminence at RDIS, Dr. C.P. Gupta, sir, to please welcome the guest of honor, Mr. Dinesh Saraf. Thank you, sir. I would now request Dr. Ritika, co-convener of the conference, to please welcome our guest, Just Bahadur Gurung and Sir Ramakrishna Chapagain. Thank you, madam.
We take pride in introducing you all to Patron International Conference and Director RDIS Professor Dr. Raman Garg, who, with his exemplary approach, has made the Institute achieve new laurels. Sir is an associate member of the Institute of Physics London and has a doctorate from the University of Manchester in the field of computational nanotechnology. Sir is a keen researcher and has been an active participant in a large number of international conferences and workshops and has several international and national publications to his credit. This indomitable spirit of Sir and zeal to scale new heights motivates us to put in our best efforts in whatever we take up. We are ever thankful to Sir for providing us with such opportunities to learn from experts and equip ourselves for achieving our future endeavors. We welcome you, Sir.
We would also like to welcome Professor of Eminence at RDIS, Dr. C.P. Gupta. Professor C.P. Gupta is presently a Professor of Practice at Lal Bahadur Shastri Institute of Management, Delhi, Adjunct Faculty at IIM Jammu, and Professor of Eminence at RDIS. Sir retired as a Senior Professor from the Department of Finance and Business Economics, University of Delhi, and was also the head of the department, Dean of the Faculty of Commerce and Business, Faculty of Applied Social Sciences and Humanities at University of Delhi. Sir has teaching and research experience of more than 43 years. His areas of research, teaching, and consultancy include investment decisions, risk analysis, project analysis, security analysis, fuzzy decision making, and financial modeling. We welcome you, sir.
We would like to introduce you all to the convener of this international conference, Dr. Pooja Bahl. Dr. Pooja, a professor at RDIS, has a PhD in management with 17 years of experience in academics. To her credentials, she has a good record in research and publications in Scopus ABDC indexed and UGC Care listed journals. Dr. Pooja has conducted many MDPs and FDPs in areas of research and brand mapping. Her areas of interest lie in consumer behavior, law, brand management, strategic management, and advertisement management, to name a few. We welcome you, madam. We would also like to thank Patron International Conference and Dean RDIS, Dr. Namita Garg, the leading light of the Institute, the one who gives direction to all faculty members and staff. Madam's managerial skills are a source of inspiration for all of us at the Institute. We welcome you, ma'am.
We also like to welcome our conference co-conveners, Dr. Ritika Gupta and Ms. Jatinder Kaur. We thank you for your immense contribution to the conference.
Moving ahead, let us all invoke the blessings of Goddess Saraswati by lighting the flame of wisdom and knowledge. I would request all the dignitaries to please come forward and light the lamp.
शुभं कुरुत्वं कल्याणं आरोग्यं धनसम्पदः शुभं कुरुत्वं कल्याणं आरोग्यं धनसम्पदः शत्रुबुद्धिविनाशाय दीपज्योतिर्नमोऽस्तुते दीपज्योतिर्नमोऽस्तुते दीपज्योतिर्नमोऽस्तुते
Now, I would request Director RDIS, Professor Dr. Raman Garg, to kindly address the gathering.
Thank you very much. Madam Professor Yadav, Professor Sarafji, Dr. Gupta, Madam Pooja, it is a matter of great pleasure to me to welcome you all to this international conference on redefining business and management practices for sustainable growth. Let me take this opportunity to extend my gratitude to the scholars and my young students who are present here today, and the scholars who shall be presenting their work on the said theme. Our Rukmani Devi Institute is committed to excellence in research activities, and today's conference, I believe, is a step in the right direction. As a young scholar myself, I feel deeply affected by the way the world is moving forward, whether it is internal conflicts amongst nations, whether it is environmental damage, the zeal for economic growth, or for economic supremacy. This situation is rightly mirrored in agenda points which are discussed at various platforms like UN, G20, and alike. The world leaders share their commitment, demonstrate their commitment, exhibit unanimity on key growth areas for the nations to collaborate so that there is equitable, inclusive, and sustainable platform for development of all. Vasudev Kutumbakam, as was the mission of our G20 meet this year, just like a big family, the nations, like members of family, must work together towards a common goal to achieve common set of objectives and look beyond competition, supremacy, but work towards universal brotherhood. I strongly believe, as a citizen of India, that we have much to offer. This country's rich tradition, rich heritage, has much to offer for the problems of the world. Our youth now is positioned well. I believe that we have the right value system, the right knowledge, the right skill set, and we very well amalgamate the Indian traditional value system with the Western skill set also. And I think this puts us in a beautiful spot where we can channelize our efforts and explore opportunities so that India shines tomorrow as a global supreme economic power. Today's deliberations, I'm sure, will focus around these areas. I am very much excited to listen and learn from the deliberations today and also listen to views from the esteemed panel we have gathered at the conference today. Last but not the least, I extend once again my gratitude to all the participants, our publisher, Bloomsbury, for their support in this conference, and to the conference team for organizing this August gathering. Thank you so much. Namaskar.
Thank you so much, sir, for sharing your thoughts.
I would now request our honorable guest of honor, Mr. Dinesh Saraf, to kindly address the gathering.
Professor Dr. Sushma Yadav, Professor Dr. Raman Garg, Professor Dr. C.P. Gupta, Dr. Pooja Behel, Dr. Namita Garg, all distinguished attendees, ladies and gentlemen, very, very good morning to all of you. I am delighted to be here in this international conference. In fact, when I speak, I have been speaking in business conferences many times, but it is not very common for me to speak in a conference which has been organized by an academic institution and academic institution of this repute. So, and I see that most of you are researchers and professors, and I am the only one who is neither doctor nor professor. So I'm a little nervous today, and I do not know, though I know about sustainability from the perspective of a practitioner, but from the perspective of an academician, I may not know much about sustainability. I know that what sustainability means to a corporate, and what disaster, what havoc it can play with the corporate if we don't follow the principles of sustainability. But I may not know the definition of many of the terminologies which you use, so pardon me, Singh, for that. And please judge my performance also in this conference, keeping in view my limitation. So what I did yesterday, that I scanned the internet and tried to know that what's the different aspects, theoretical aspects of sustainability. And I was a little confused. And it's a wide subject, and you can take it where you want to take it and where you need to take it. And sometimes I felt yesterday that it's like an elephant which is being judged by so many blind people, and they are describing whatever organ of the elephant they are touching. So, but on the serious note, it's a subject which is very, very important, not only from the academician's point of view, and from the point of view of the corporates, from the point of view of the humanity, from the point of view of the society, from the point of view of different nations. I see that about 10 minutes have been allocated to me. But I understood that my speaking time could be longer, so I made my written comments, but so that I can read it out to fill all those 15, 20, 25 minutes. But I need not do that, and I would straightway come on certain aspects of sustainability which are important for the corporates and which are important for the society and the nation. Or rather the nations. Sustainability, so I can flip pages, many pages. One aspect of sustainability is pollution, because we need to take care of the nature, and we need to take care of the environment, and the pollution is a big problem before us. So, just an example I would give from corporate, and I would read it in June 2023. Vedanta Limited, a mining major, they were trying to sell one of their copper smelter plants in Tamil Nadu. And the reason and they did not get any buyer, and they did this effort a year before in 2022. At that time, they did not get any buyer. And the reason was that the plant was closed for last 5 years. And why it was closed? Because of the environmental reasons. And the Tamil Nadu Pollution Control Board, they ordered that the plant be shut because there are serious environmental issues. So, sustainability is not a soft topic, because sometimes in corporates, even in corporates, may not be now, because corporates are much more vigilant to sustainability today, but 10 years back, 15 years back, they were not. And they were not taking sustainability as seriously as they should have at that time. So, similar thing happened with this plant, and the plant was ordered to be shut. And so the message here is that sustainability can go to the extent of closure of business. So, which can be the most extreme thing. Another aspect of sustainability is also the safety aspect of the assets which you are operating, the operations which you are doing. In ONGC, this is something which I have seen myself. On 27th of July 2005, ONGC, one of its major platforms where the major oil and gas production was there in of the Mumbai coast, it met with an accident, a big accident, and there were loss of many lives also. And other than the financial loss which it occurred, the morale of the employees that came down drastically because people felt because more than 3,000, 4,000 people of ONGC, they are working in offshore and they stay there for 15 days, 18 days, and then they come back. So half of their life, so to say, is in offshore. So they felt insecure. So the morale of the people that comes down, and just from economic point of view, the ONGC, no insurance company after that was ready to give insurance policy to ONGC because such a big accident has happened. So, and ONGC assets, they remain uninsured at the time of next renewal of the policy for some weeks, maybe 2-3 weeks, whatever, I don't remember that. So it remained, so it's something creating another big risk to the company and which is historical. So how it was handled? Again, I mean, increased focus on maintenance, stringent SOPs which we made and meticulously implemented the same. Safety audits were done, and with stakeholders management, visitors of different underwriters of insurance to the platforms, etc. All that we did. And within 3-4 years, we got the insurance rates, the insurance premium rates, which were the lowest ever. So from that situation to this situation, so again, I mean, it's a sustainability issue. Similarly, British Petroleum, they were drilling a well in Gulf of Mexico, and that was in 2010, perhaps in April, and one of their that accident happened. Some activity was there, as we call in our oil and gas language, and because of that activity, there was a blowout. Blowout is that when all the thing in uncontrolled manner, the oil and gas, etc., that comes out of the well. And the loss to British Petroleum in terms of the compensation, the so many suits were there, the damage control, this oil spill was there to control that. The loss was 61.3 billion US dollar, which is 5 lakh crore rupees. And it was 1/3 of, and BP is a very, very big company, and I think in India, no other company would be of that particular size. 1/3 of its market capitalization was lost. So, just imagine, because that well could be drilled by BP, the well could have been drilled by some other company, also smaller company. If that, instead of BP, that well was being drilled by some other smaller company, that company would have vanished altogether. So again, I mean, I'm coming to the same issue, that the sustainability could become a business continuation risk also. So this is second I wanted to give you. Like for example, we sometimes say that the office environment, that is also a sustainability aspect, as I understand. So ONGC, we were in the heart of the city, in Connaught Place area, and we had hired a building from Life Insurance Corporation, Jeevan Bharti building, and several floors we had hired. And it was a very nice place, centrally located. And we made a green building, which later got the, it was in the finalist in the a global contest in the green buildings globally. And it was also inaugurated by Honorable Prime Minister. And he spent more than 2 hours in the building, seeing the different buildings and speaking to all of us. So people were not ready to move there because from this heart of the city to Vasant Kunj, so-called village, so people were not ready. But when the people moved, and it was a so good an environment, working environment we gave, they were very happy. The efficiency of the employees, that became very high. And even I used to sometimes see, even on weekends, many of the employees, they brought their families. with pride, and to see that this is the building I'm working with. And so there was a connect between the company and the employees and their families. So this is another aspect. One can feel that it's a small thing, but I think it is a very big thing. So this is also what sustainability can do. I have to flip pages and look for examples of my thing. Another thing which I see sustainability also, ESG, G stands for governance. And in ONGC, how we manage governance. So some examples I will give. There was a lot of, ONGC is one of the biggest buyer of in India, I mean, in terms of its procurements. And there used to be so much of discontent among the all its vendors. So what we started, and it is again, I mean, nothing, I mean, no rocket science. It's a connect to how to keep a connect between the company and its vendors. We started a concept of having a vendor meet at least once a year. And we invited all our vendors to a particular place. Normally it used to be in Mumbai, because most of our operations are concentrated there. And before that, we start preparation about 1 month before that. And we asked what you have to say about what are your comments on ONGC procurement system in terms of its processes, in terms of its implementation, in terms of its employees' behavior, in terms of payments, on all aspects. And not many suggestions used to come. We used to study, even at my level, I was the CEO at that time. So even at my level, we used to study those observations and give them comments. And we used to have a day-long meeting with our vendors every year, at least once a year. And based on that, we were able to identify many improvements in our processes to give vendors more satisfaction, and ultimately what it results in. Because if the entire board used to be there, if the board is spending one complete day in one single meeting, traveling all the way to Mumbai, so there has to be some return also. The return used to be higher vendor satisfaction, which means we understand them, they understand us, and they would, in terms of financial implication, they would quote lower than otherwise in their next bids, which is a direct financial gain to the company. So this is one. Then we also devise, and whatever decisions we used to take, we used to, in the next year or after 6 months, when we used to re-attend the meeting, we used to give a action taken report to them, that these were the decisions taken, these things we have done, these things are in progress, and these things are not possible to be done for such and such reason. And if you have some further suggestion, please let us know. Another thing which we implemented was an integrity pact. So, and it became a mandatory process. When we used to not enter into a contract, but when we used to invite bids, there used to be a contract, written contract between us and not the contractor, the bidder. And it would be that the company would maintain all the standards of integrity, and the bidder, and if he becomes vendor also as bidder, so he also would maintain full codes of integrity. And what is meant by the code of integrity from company side, from vendor side, that used to be defined there. This was for the first time we implemented in India in association with an organization, Transparency International. They had a chapter here, an NGO, with the help of that. And again, the result was that many of the things which we would not like to happen within our company, we came to know of that. And there were mechanisms that how to address those concerns of different vendors. And ultimately, the CVC, the Chief Vigilance Commission, they adopted this practice hearing because we gave them a presentation and they adopted this practice, and it was implemented later on in all the CPSCs, PSUs, as well as in all the government departments, in all the ministries. Learning from ONGC experience. So this is something, again, sustainability, that how to remain more and more transparent, which gives immediate financial return also. Gives, I mean, the stature of the company also increases. Similarly, we implemented for the first time in the country, and it was not a new concept, globally it was there, a whistleblower policy within the country, and later on it became very, very prevalent, and we made sure that the identity of the whistleblower is totally protected. Nobody knows that, I mean, who has made this complaint. But we used to get a lot of inputs, and the dealing between the whistleblower and the company was at the level of chairman of the audit committee, who is a board member and who is an independent director. Between him, in fact, I as the chairman also would not know who was the whistleblower who complained, and the whistleblower was free to complain against me as the chairman of the company as well. Because I would not know, only the audit committee chairman would know, and he would advise us to do certain things based on the complaint and based on his investigation. So this was done. The governance process in the board is also something which is very, very important from the point of view of governance and ESG. So I will tell you an example, just an which happened with me. I was not chairman at the time, I was director finance, the CFO, and all financial proposals, they used to be routed through me, which goes to the board. And there, one proposal came, and it was a board meeting was happening, in the live board meeting, and a proposal came on the top of which it was written that initiated by such and such director, financial concurrence given by Director Finance, which is me, and the agenda has been approved, not the proposal, agenda has been approved by the chairman of the company, and it has come to for approval of the board. I just joined the company as Director Finance, and I was very new to that board. So I told the chairman that, sir, I have not seen this proposal. So for a few seconds, there was a total silence in the board, that what's the statement Director Finance has made. And what it shows that a newcomer Director Finance has the liberty to speak in the board, and something which goes against the chairman also, because it is written, because it is his responsibility to see that it has been concurred. And then he said, the statement he made, if my Director Finance has not seen it, this proposal cannot be considered by the board. So this is because what we do in governance becomes a tick mark issue. That there are 50 items where you have to say complied, not complied. And in 50 items, if you have 48 ticks and only 2 crosses, then okay, you are still there. But it goes much beyond that. It goes, I mean, to the DNA of the company, that what is to be seen. So, for example, there is no requirement to do the, like there is a credit rating, there is no requirement for the governance rating to be done. So we initiated this process of getting the company rated by a very renowned agency, and they met, saw so many of our processes, and they gave us some governance rating, which was quite good, but not the best. And they identified some of the things where we could further improve. And we made, I mean, some of those improvements. So this is what is meant by governance. But unfortunately, many of us have just, limited it to the tick mark that whether it is you have complied as per the provision, not in spirit. Another example I would give you, I became Director Finance in end of December, and about end of January 2008 it was, the quarterly accounts were to come. And within early January, a very big arbitration case was decided against ONGC. And the financial implication of that arbitration case was a couple of 100 crores, maybe 700, 800 crores. And that would have wiped off whole of the profit or substantial amount of profit for that particular quarter. So I didn't know that what to do, how to provide in my first ever quarterly accounts thing. So, and the auditors, they were supportive. They said that such and such provision is there in the accounting standard, and you have the way to not provide this. Though it needs to be provided as per the essence of the thing, but we can see that we will not make any adverse comment, and you can avoid this, and you can provide this liability in March accounts after 3 months, the annual accounts. So I was not very sure, so and I wanted to provide, but I went to the chairman, being a very important item. And the chairman did not listen to me fully, though he listened to, he knew about the case, etc., all that. He said that do whatever is right to be done as CFO of the company. So do what you feel good, and don't worry about the profits. So this is corporate governance. So these are the corporate, some of the things which I would say that what is governance. Governance, sustainability also includes some of the usage of natural resources to be minimized or to be judiciously used, to be thing. So in one of our refinery, Mangalore refinery, it's a separate subsidiary, MRPL, Mangalore refinery. So we were drawing water from a nearby river, and huge amount of water was drawn day after day, and for some months the monsoon was some year monsoon was not good, and it came to the stoppage of the refinery and curtailment of the refinery throughput also. So, there comes, what we did, we said that we will not take water from the river, not the next day, but after a couple of years, and we made a salination plant, taking the plant water from sea and desalining the water and using that water. So this again is a sustainability issue, because how the corporates have to leave natural resources like water for agriculture, for households, and minimize because the corporates can afford this, but the agriculture cannot afford this. If the same water comes to industry, I think the lakhs of farmers, they would lose their livelihood. The water has in any case to go to the households. So how the corporates can minimize the usage of natural resources like water. And similarly, another incident happened of water only in Gujarat. We were constructing a new plant, and suddenly the Gujarat authorities, they said that this particular water will not go to you. And the chief minister at the time was now our Prime Minister, Honorable Modi. So we went him, not me, but my chairman, because I was a junior officer at the time. So and he said that how much foresight he has. He said that it's a very big plant, and the investment was about 19,000 crores at that time, and it has to come. It has to come. So you take water, but you commit to us that when you would stop taking water from the river, and by which particular month, etc., or year, you would make your own arrangement of water. So, I mean, a balanced approach. So, in the short run, you do what you want, but ultimately you have to stop taking water, which is, I mean, which is to be used by the farmers and by the households. So this is something, I mean, such decision making is, I mean, how to balance the interest of different sections of the society. So these are some of the things. Let me see if I have to say something else. And one more thing I would say before I conclude. The sustainability and ESG is something which is not a matter of choice with the corporates. Now corporates have to follow it. There's no choice. The business may close down, as I told in some instances. Your lenders, your investors would stop giving you funds, because many of the organizations are there which say that those corporates which are non-compliant on ESG, we would not, I mean, give any loans. So the customers may go away from you. Some of the countries have said that if there is a component of carbon emission more than a prescribed limit in the goods, so we would impose import duty on those goods. So India is expected to be hit in a big way, and such regulations are being brought by European Union. So, though India is opposing this, but it may come. So, again, I mean, you may lose business. Even the employees would like to work more and more for a company which cares for sustainability. So, the corporates, in any case, have to care for sustainability. They have to follow the sustainability rules. So, that's what I wanted to say. I'm sorry that I could not dwell upon the different aspects of things. So I think you know more than me. So I could tell only about some instances where sustainability is important. Thank you very much.
Very rightly said, sir. Sustainability is the need of the hour, not only for corporates, academia, but also for humanity and society as a whole. Thank you for sharing ONGCs and so many other experiences with us and shedding light on the adversities of sustainability. We are sure we'll all learn something from it, and we'll strive to become a responsible citizen and do our bit towards the environment and society. We thank you again.
Now, I would like to invite our esteemed chief guest, Professor Sushma Yadav, to enlighten the gathering on the conference theme.
The guest of honor of today's inaugural session, Mr. Dinesh Saraf, former MD ONGC, who had a very candid speech with you. Very few officers of his standard would admit that I'm feeling nervous. Nervous we all are inside. But saying it from the dais, I think it was very candid. And sustainability also needs honesty and being natural. So you can learn that quality, which was really beautifully coming out of his address. The patron and director of this conference and director of the institute, Professor Dr. Raman Garg, the professor of eminence and session chair, Professor C.P. Gupta ji, and I would say he's the spirit behind bringing me here. I made all kinds of excuses, but I'm happy I'm here. Professor Dr. Namita Garg, patron and dean, and a beautiful couple I see heading this institute. Dr. Pooja Bahel, convener of this conference. The co-conveners, I'm not able to recollect the names, I couldn't write them. And Sonia and Aarti. Sonali and Aarti, who are introducing us and who are convening this conference. Dear faculty colleagues from this institute, invited guests from different other institutions and countries also, and my dear students, future managers, you would be MDs of any of these Navratnas or Maharatnas sometime if you do well in your life. You could be future administrators, and you could be future entrepreneurs like Dr. Raman Garg. This is an enterprise and many other enterprises. So the world is yours if you remain sustainable in your approach in life. And therefore, I wish to start with saluting the memory of late Mrs. Rukmani Devi, a legend, because in her name we have so many institutions. And we've seen them growing, her entire family, the lineage which carried the name. I really want to salute, and such people are in fact great for the entire humanity, wherever they are. India has many of them, the world also has many of them, because great institutions come out like that. I also wish to thank the institute, its director, deans, Professor Gupta ji, for inviting me here. I may not speak the way Dr. Dinesh Saraf spoke, Mr. Saraf spoke, because that was it was like the practice coming out. I would speak in a different way, and I am happy that we will not be repeating, because his perspective is the managerial perspective. Of course, he combined governance. My perspective would be more like social sciences, society, and of course, governance remains very, very important for sustainability in any way. I wish to compliment also the institute for having organized this conference. I don't know who made this hall, but this hall has been made very intelligently. Did you ever notice? Because it's dark on the student side. You can't really see them very, very clearly. So you are very comfortable. You may sleep, you may speak. The speaker will be finding it difficult to see you. But please remain alert, because we have come for you, ultimately. But it's really very intelligently made. It doesn't really make the speaker nervous, or also doesn't make the speaker off, because if you are not listening. Anyway, it's my compliments. And I think it's a very, very important topic, because sustainability becomes the key issue for the entire humanity, the entire world. Sustainability because of our consumerism, sustainability because of our selfishness, sustainability also because of our uncertainties. Wars come out of the uncertainty and fear. Selfishness is ingrained in individuals. I think God made us like that. Go, take care of yourself. Because everyone says, first take care of yourself. So that is part of it. But there has to be a symphony and harmony between our existence and our coexistence. And that is what this conference, I think, tries to hamper on or bring us to that aspect of living. And Saraf Saab talked about environment, society, governance. ESG I was not able to follow earlier, but and he has headed one. We have always graded success in India or everywhere in the world. So Navratnas, Maharatnas, then Mahamaharatnas, on the basis of their achievement or capitalizing basically. And capital became important. And there was one time when we started competing, then corporatizing, consuming. These only became enemies ultimately of our coexistence and our sustainability. So lately we have realized that do we only need to gather more money, capitalize on funds and resources, or use them judiciously, as Saraf Saab reminded you. Use them judiciously, use them with restraint, use them with control, use them mindfully, then only sustainability of growth comes. Because growth is important. We all grow. We don't even realize we grow every day. It may not be physical, mentally we grow. Similarly, the world grows. But that growth must not be mindless. I think our generation saw this. Our generation saw this, and we saw that young people were having a burnout at 40. You are prone to that. The generation, you young people who are, reading in these managerial institutes or management institutes, because we're making managers out of you. And managers, I belong to a discipline where we rejected public management because we said, no, we are not there for management. We are there for governance. And governance is wider than management, because in management, profit making becomes very, very important. How much you contribute to the growth of organization, how much you contribute to the capital of that organization. But the world cannot really be run only like that. So you must have read what is the Krishna style of management, which comes out in Gita, Bhagavad Gita, as we say. You must also have been reading, some people, because we're talking about IKS now, Indian Knowledge System. So Vishnu style of management. I don't know how many of you can really adopt that you keep lying down coolly, because you have already asked people to do the right work. And you just keep a watch. You may sleep for 6 months, 3 months, 1 month, and then come and check whether everyone is performing the job. When can that happen? When you have given the right job to the right person. And that becomes a very important part of good managerial practice and a sustainable managerial practice also, or sustainable growth. So please read about these phenomenal individuals in our knowledge system, how they look around the world, how they control the world, not control, in fact, how they let the world grow without micromanagement, without micro-controlling also. That also leads to sustainability. But sustainability is more than that. If you look at your living around your family and society, you will find many mantras there. I do not know how many of you have noted when you perform a havan, when you perform a yajna, when you perform a puja, when you worship God, your feeling is, havan I can say, in Arya Samaj, every mantra says, idam agnay, idam chandray, idam somay, idanamam. Next sentence is, idanamam. Idanamam means, this does not belong to me. This belongs to Som, this belongs to Vayu, this belongs to Agni, this belongs to nature, this does not belong to me. When we say that this does not belong to me, we leave a part of it. We relinquish, we move away. And that's a very good style of sustainability. Because when you start owning, and that's in management also, when you start owning, they teach you how to own a firm organization, because then only you can contribute. The moment you start owning it, you become possessive about it. And when you become possessive about it, your thinking also becomes very, very narrow. So the best managerial practice for sustainable growth or longevity in growth would be when you do own an organization, but do not own it as if it will always be yours. Because idanamam must be part of your living, part of your thinking. The same was expressed in Indian Upanishads also. That you take everything in life, but you take with caution. Ten tyakten bhunjitaha. He consumes, but consumes with sacrifice. So you leave a portion of it for the rest of nature. You do enjoy whatever you have earned. You do enjoy whatever is around you, but you leave also for the future generation. Sustainability became a risk or became a caution or became a word for the world, because everyone started thinking, yes, we are having plenty. But what about the next generations? Maybe we don't leave water to them. Maybe we don't leave a fresh air to them. Maybe we don't leave trees to them. Maybe we don't leave an environment which is worth living or a planet which is worth living for them. And that fear started the entire world to think about sustainability. And the G20 added Vasudhaiva Kutumbakam to that. Vasudhaiva Kutumbakam because it's not only me, it's not only my community, it's not only my village, it's not only my nation, it's not only my people, but it's the entire world, entire globe, which is at risk. And so whenever we use grow, we must think about that. And that you can do if you really have that wider perspective in your mind. So when you adopt managerial practices with a wider understanding, with a comprehensive and deeper understanding, I'm sure you will have much more environmentally sustainable style of functioning and a growth which is also sustainable, which goes long. I do not know, but you may have had case studies. I do not have a case study, but I've heard, you may bear it out, that Tatas in India offer you a company which nurtures its employees, which cares for its employees. They say once Tata employee will always remain Tata employee. They don't even leave the companies very easily. So you can surely see what is there in that. I have met many people, great senior officers who retired from Tatas or who took at times voluntary retirement maybe to explore future or better pastures, but they couldn't really leave it. And they always are attached with Tata. Once we visited one of their, I think it was a production place, where they said that, no, we never leave our employee. Our employee may leave, it's okay, but we always find a place, this or that, for our employees. So you can understand that is a sustainable growth practice, in fact. And they also leave for the rest of humanity, not only what they earn, they use. They, of course, have been growing very, very fast, but TCS told us that like the British Empire, the sun never sets in our empire now. You know, it's nature's vengeance. Because their companies are working in the entire world, so sun never sets. It's either this side of hemisphere or that side of hemisphere, they're working. Similarly, Birlas and Godrej, I think you can look at their styles, which are really sustainable. So caring for your employees, caring for the environment around you becomes very important for sustainability. If we talk about the modern style, then our Honorable Prime Minister has come out with lots of beautiful mantras again, or slogans as we say, Sabka Saath, Sabka Vikas, and he didn't stay there. Then Sabka Prayas, because if you do not contribute, it may not be really sustainable, even if you wish to develop. So Sabka Prayas. And after that he said, Sabka Prayas bhi bahut nahi hai. Sabka Vishwas. You have to win the confidence also. You have to win the trust also. That becomes a very beautiful managerial practice if you really want to have a sustainable growth. So we can learn from them, because over the years, the consumerism and corporatism, which were the results of commerce and which were the results of basically managers controlling the trade and commerce and then the world around, it led to disasters, man-made disasters, environmental disasters, climatic disasters, natural disasters. And we are hearing them all around, whether it is Ukraine-Russia war, or it is Hamas-Israel conflict, or it is the climate change, the cyclones coming, or the floods coming in Rajasthan, or at states where we never could think about them, are really causing problems. Therefore, as managers or as the future entrepreneurs, you must look at the possibility of having practices, having styles which take care of all these ills and which really think of more innovative ways. I have seen in your details about the conference that you are talking about diversity, equity, and inclusion. And I'll surely like to speak, of course, briefly with this, because that has been my field also. Diversity, equity, and inclusion, in fact, gives you sustainability. Because if you're able to bring different kind of people together, distinct kind of people together, and even people who are not at the same wavelength, not at the same social status, not at the same mental wavelength also. And you can bring together, then you can have very distinct style, very innovative styles coming out of their working together or their being together. Inclusion becomes important because if there are people and communities who remain outside your net, you lose on very good managerial resource, very good human resource, and very good ideas also, which may be different because those who belong to one style or one status have similar kind of ideas. People coming from urban will have one style of thinking, one way of thinking. People coming from rural would have a different style or different understanding of the same problem or different solution for the same problem. So diversity and equity and inclusion are important if we really want to have a sustainable society, because if we do not include, symphony and harmony will not come. And if symphony and harmony doesn't come and there is a lot of diversity with differences, then it may create an environment which may at any time explode, and which may not be good for the entire society. So even if you are working very well, even if you are having great profits, you never know when you lose or where you lose and where you have the risk coming from. So risk management remains one of the important tasks of any manager. And of course, innovations. I think the entire nation and the world is talking about it, which comes out of creativity also, which comes out of a different style of thinking. I would come to innovation, of course, later, but agility in operation, I won't be able to speak because that's not my field. I'm sure some of the experts in the coming sessions will speak about them. Digital transformation has been really remarkable as far as India is concerned. Of course, the world had it, but we thought in India that it will not happen. But the way it has happened, smartly, the kind of people who are coming within the digital world is again really remarkable. You find an illiterate woman who will be operating a smartphone and will be making her maybe payments even through which we never thought, through the smartphone or through RuPay or whatever we call it. And they have used it and it has come very handy to them. Now they don't have to put their money around and feel safe about or unsafe about it. So the world is changing, the country is changing, and digital transformation has been very important because we tried to bring transparency earlier in governance through first the RTI. We named it RTI, but in fact it was not merely RTI, it was right to know. Because it's not only information, but I think smartly bureaucracy changed it. Because knowing was a wider right, and information becomes limited. This is information, we do not have this information, so we cannot give it. And we taught this with ONGC. I was telling Mr. Saraf, our relation at IIPA was that we trained those first generation information officers, and people were really scared that giving information may not put them in trouble any time. But I can say only two kinds of people have to fear giving information. Those who are not doing their work rightly, those who are corrupt. Only two kinds of people. Rest should never mind sharing information because that cannot trouble them. But when they started evading this and corruption, and it continues even now because it's human phenomenon, I think, so then whistleblower issue came. Because we've been trying to find ways of dealing with corruption. So I think that was a very good innovation, although it took many lives also. Even RTI took, for that matter, because activists were not very safe. However, that remains very important, and from whistleblower we have come to the ombudsman, or ombudsperson, Lokpal as you say, because we have issues and complaints. A good manager, a good managerial practice also must know how to deal with such kinds of challenges and risks which come before you. So making your functioning transparent can always give you a better leverage to function. So it's iconic almost, digital transformation. For environmental growth which is sustainable, or managerial functioning which is sustainable, I think as human beings, We have to focus on what you say ours, and I'm sure somebody will talk about it. I'll just hint about them. Reduce your needs, which is very difficult because market says you need this, you need that, you need this more. But at that time, resist it and you may reduce your needs. Resist whatever comes before you first. Think whether you really need it, whether you should go for it, then reuse, then recycle. Your generation will never understand, but I think Gupta ji's and Saraf sahab's and my generation understand. Reusing was so much in homes. Reusing was so much in societies. You know, we would wear clothes which were worn by our senior brothers, sisters, siblings easily. And that was not a matter of, in any way bad feeling. Now no child will use it. You have to throw it. Throw it in the sense either you donate, charity, whatever. That has come, but if you do that, that's fine. But if you just don't use it, that's bad. And then recycling, because that becomes important for the nature. Otherwise, your resources are not unlimited. They are limited, and you have to worry about them. But you can do all this when you are fearless and confident. These are the two important things. Without that, you can neither restrain yourself, nor renounce, nor become not worried about whatever the gain is. That you can only do then when you start thinking either in Gita's terminology, sukha dukha same kritva labha labho jaya jayo. Whether it is good, bad, pleasure, pain, defeat, victory, it hardly matters because it's God's decision. That is one way of living in a very, very careless, I can't say, but relaxed way. I will do my best, leave the rest or leave the result, because the result is not in your hands. Gita says this only, never work for the result. But managers have to work for targets. Do work for them. But even if you leave the ultimate to the God, I think many diseases which are now called the lifestyle diseases will not happen. Sugar, blood pressure come because we start worrying about the result and we have to give the results, produce results. Please leave that. And otherwise, what was there in our tradition, which is called the Panchakoshiya Vikas, that you develop all your senses in the right way, which will make you a healthy person, and that managerial practice was also, because a sick person really can't manage very well. And usually managers become sick. Sorry if the managers are there here, but I'm sure Saraf Saab was not like that. But so first you have very good food. You leave food usually running for meetings when you are at very high pedestals or high posts. But you realize when you become 60 or 65 that I did wrong. Because after all, what are we doing all this for? So keep yourself healthy. In our tradition they say, Shariram khalu dharma sadhanam. This body is in fact your means to religion also, means to God. So take care of it like that. For that, you must have good, healthy food. Now you're coming back to organic things because you want to live a sustainable life. Then a good mind only keeps a good body or nurtures a good body. So your mind becomes important. We say mindful living. Nurture your mind with good thoughts, positivity. These are the latest, but this is what is said in our Upanishads and Vedas, that this is important. So a good mind. Then we never thought prana or breathing is as important. Pranayam has told us that you have to have balance in your body and mind, but that balance would come when you control your breathing, in fact. So long breaths give you some cool time to think, to worry less. So control your prana also. Breathing is not only that. Breathing is only one aspect of that, but pranayama is much more. So have that healing also while living. And then third is vijnana jnana, knowing and experimenting, which goes on for living healthily. So, Gyan and Vigyan. And when you have club all these four or combine all these four, I'm not going into details now because you may read about them. Otherwise, I'll maybe speak to you about it sometime, some other time. Then comes Anand. And Anand is not only enjoyment, it's feeling good, feeling sublime. Sat Chit Anand, as we say. When you know truth, when you know your mind, then only you can go into that blissful existence. That's what Anand. So if you can live like this, I'm sure you can have managerial practices which will lead to sustainable growth because you'll think about everything around you. And the other style is what our Honorable previous Prime Minister Atal Bihari Vajpayee wrote in his diary. किंचित भी ना भयभीत में, क्या हार में क्या जीत में, किंचित भी ना भयभीत में, क्या हार में क्या जीत में, कर्तव्य पथ पर जो मिला ये भी सही वो भी सही, ये भी सही वो भी सही. The moment you have this ambivalent attitude, I am sure you become a manager with difference, a manager with distinction, and a manager with innovative style of governing or managing. And I really wish that all of you, इतने serious क्यों हो, इतनी अच्छी poem सुनाई, तब भी ताली नहीं बजा सके तुम लोग. अपने डायरेक्टर साहब से डरे हुए थे क्या? नहीं? Learn to live in a joyful way. Because ultimately it's the joy which makes your life different. And I wish that you have very good careers, you have very good positions, but you always are able to find time to find that joy and bliss and also think about the rest of the world and the entire humanity for which the planet is surviving. Once again, I thank Rukmini Devi Institute of Advanced Studies, which has invited me. I thank Professor Gupta for, I'm sure he recommended my name, and I'm very happy to be here. All the very best to all of you. Namaskar.
Thank you, Madam, for sharing the social sciences perspective towards sustainability that connects learning from Arya Samaj rituals with sustainability, which has given us a new perspective wherein you talked about the growth must not be mindless. A managerial practice or a managerial work should be given to the right person, wherein we also learn that it's okay to enjoy with whatever we have, but we need to manage our current resources for the generations to come. And at the end, we surely take care of the words that ma'am has said. The world is yours if you stay sustainable. Thank you so much, ma'am. Ladies and gentlemen, it's the time for the moment that we all have been waiting for. It's the time to release the book titled Redefining Business and Managerial Practices for Sustainable Growth, a Global Perspective. I request all the dignitaries on the dais to please do the honors. We would like to thank all the contributing authors, editors, publisher, and the entire conference team for their efforts and dedication towards this academic excellence.
Now, on behalf of the Institute, I humbly request Director RDIS, Professor Dr. Raman Garg, to kindly felicitate our honorable guest of honor, Mr. Dinesh Saraf, with a token of appreciation and remembrance for gracing the session with his benign presence. We would now like to felicitate our chief guest, Professor Sushma Yadav. Madam, your insights have enriched our event and your presence has been an inspiration to us all. We extend our heartfelt gratitude for your invaluable contribution and hope for your continued support and guidance in all our future endeavors. I would request convener, International Conference, Dr. Pooja Bahl, to kindly felicitate Madam with a token of appreciation and remembrance as a mark of our respect and veneration. Now, ladies and gentlemen, we shall take a short break for tea before we start with our technical sessions. I would request all to kindly proceed to the ground floor hall above the lecture theatre. We shall all assemble back in next half an hour, that is 12:30 p.m. Please note, the finance track will commence here in lecture theatre and HR track will commence in B103, that is B block, first floor. All the presenters are requested to move to their respective rooms after the tea. Thank you and have a good day.
Thank you.